Good morning, everyone. Pastor Chris here. Welcome to the Poolside Chat. Characteristics of God. I'm going through 3 of them because what we see in God is what we see in ourselves, but God has that perfect mix, you know? And what is it? What is his personality? What are his characteristics? What are his traits? And we've seen up to now, they're kind of like opposites. Mercy and judgment, kindness and goodness, and anger and wrath, love and hatred. So it's an interesting mix. Today I'm going to go over 3. And it's patience, compassion, and I don't know what the word is. I've been struggling with this, but it's like consequences or fulfilling your word. I'm not sure what that word is, but it all goes hand in hand. And let me talk about these. Because God is a patient God. I mean, we see this. It says God is a patient God. In Genesis chapter 3, the story of Cain and Abel. Adam and Eve are born. They have sons, Cain and Abel. Well, Cain and his brother Abel give offering sacrifices to God. Abel gives meat, a sweet aroma. God accepts it. Cain brings vegetables from the ground, the best that he had, and gives them to God. God rejected it. Well, Cain gets mad. God rejects the offering, but he does not reject Cain. And actually, that's what I started to look up. And I started talking. Because God says, "Why are you down in the mouth?" Let me read this. And Cain, this is Genesis chapter 4, verse 5. But on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor, so Cain was very angry and his face was downcast. He got mad. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door and desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Even though he rejected his offering, he gave Cain a second chance. He was patient with him. He showed him compassion. We don't see compassion and patience very often in the Old Testament, it seems, but here it is, right at the very beginning of the story. In 2 Peter, is it chapter 2 or chapter 3? This goes through patience. The Lord, 2 Peter 3:9, the Lord is not slow in keeping his promises, as some understand slowness. In other words, he's patient. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting any to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. God is patient. And he shows compassion. He doesn't want anyone to be apart from him. Patience and compassion. But what's this other thing I'm talking about? This like fulfilling your word or going through with what you say you're going to do. Keeping your word. Maybe that's the best way to say it. Keeping your word. Even though God is patient, there are still consequences to pay. When he makes a promise, he is going to keep it. And that goes with patience and compassion. Because one thing that's important to know is man has free will. God knows we're going to mess up. That's why God is patient. God doesn't reject us. That's the compassion. But there's this saying, actions have consequences. We have the free will to choose. And when we make the wrong choice, actions have consequences. But this is God's character. And remember, we are made in the image of God. We may not do it perfectly, but we see reflections of God, of who we are, what you see. And that's one of them. Patience and compassion. And actions have consequences. I'm going to stick with that one. We're going to do one more. This is not a complete list by any stretch of the imagination, but it is an overview of who God is, an overview of that image that we have as image bearers of God. And we're going to do one more Saturday. And then I think I'm going to close it out next Wednesday with two passages that kind of describe how that image, the character of God, is seen in us. So, it's been fun. But in the meantime, have a great week. A little bit cloudy today here, a little bit cool, which is kind of nice. But wherever you are, I hope it is a fantastic Wednesday, great midweek break. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday. In the meantime, I'm Pastor Chris. Keep the questions coming. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble at FL Compass Church, and now on Instagram at FL Compass Church. Be blessed. We'll see you Saturday.